Thank you for that, Madam Chair. Thank you for the explanation, Minister of Justice. I'm wondering, are you currently getting enough support from the Ministry of Finance? Because I'm seeing a lot of back and forth, but are you getting the support needed of what is lacking if you're not getting the support? I also understood, based on the articles that I've read, that there are about 700 national decrees to be processed. And I also read that the plan is to have like a minimum of 25 a week. So if I calculated correctly, it can take over 7 to 9 months to process it. So is that the plan, or is it the idea of creating a bigger group available to process this matter so that the police workers or the justice workers can get their payment as is due to them? Other than that, I didn't hear, but maybe I didn't, it went very fast, in connection to question number 5, what is the short-term solution to address this matter, to avoid the go-slow actions and the work to rule? Because we have been seeing that happening a lot in the past few weeks, seeing the current position of the justice workers. And last question, in regards to the custom officers, question 8E, what is the reason that there is no date of completion for the custom workers and their rechtspositielandverordening? So, because I understood that that you didn't answer. You said
relationship with the Ministry of Finance, I would like to be able to say that the relationship has always been a good one. It was just a matter of the fact that we worked together on the budget. And, you know, I made an announcement that the 200 were complete. We did not know that an individual breakdown and print for each employee was going to be necessary. And so the fact that when we sent the LBAs and they were returned requesting that, it did take us a bit by surprise. Nevertheless, the communication between the staff finally did take place. That was ironed out. As I indicated, it does set us back because it requires more attention to printing specifically per staff. The next question is understood by the article that there are about 700. Yes, there is almost 800 employees. However, we are looking first in phase 1 at the 500 that are active staff. And over that, meaning if we have 25 LBAs per batch and 1 batch per week, that is 500 divided by 25, which is 20 batches. Hence the reason I indicated that when we calculated by the end of the second quarter, we should be done with phase 1. And we are seeking additional staff. If we get that, we expect that number to increase and be more expeditious, because ultimately our goal is to expedite the process. Didn't hear in connection with number 5, what is the short-term solution? The short-term solution is being able to get the staff that we need. As a matter of fact, we have indicated that the governor is currently handling a batch. They have agreed to expedite this process. So once we have LBAs being signed, and we have the belief that the template is in good order, and so the ability to roll these LBAs are in good standing. And one thing I want to point out, at the end of the day, we see the actions happening by the justice workers in a group. But when it comes to individuals and their money, they don't walk as a group. They want to hear and they want to see their numbers being accurate individually. And the moment that we mess that up, it's going to cause a problem. So whilst we understand there's an expeditious request, we are trying our best to do that, but we have to be very careful with people's money. And finally, your question said about the customs officers, what is the reason that there is no date of completion of their expositie? The interesting thing is that the Customs Department has a expositie. What they seek is for that expositie to be updated. And I have with me here with me is Attorney Brandon. And she is the attorney that is currently working with the unions and the customs officers. We have identified 5 individuals. I made mention that some meetings had been set. Unfortunately, those 5 members were not in attendance, so those meetings had to be rescheduled, and I'll be picking up that conversation with those members who have proposed themselves to assist with the review of the expositie and have it amended, but have not been present for the meetings that were scheduled by Attorney Brandon thus far. I don't know if that's all that yes, thank you.
in that new law, it would be that the VDSM and the Prosecutor General had no rights to be involved in the screening because they are not part of checking the ministers. Again, we have something we call trias politicas. Government, so ministers and all that, parliament, the legislative branch, and the justice branch. Now, when you look at how this all playing out now, because you got to fast forward, you have to fast forward and look at how this goes. The governor, his role is to sign the national decree. All this about appointing formateurs and informateurs is a joke. It's a complete joke. That is the job of the politicians. If this was etched in stone, then the king would have appointed the formateurs and informateurs in Holland too. Doesn't. Wilders and them appointed the informateurs in the Netherlands. Because the political party said they didn't want nothing to do with the governor because he screwed, the king, he screwed up the Rutte 3 and 4 cabinet with his nonsense. So here now we get a governor that sets a bunch of rules for the informateurs to go and deal with. One, asking people and organizations if they believe this government is okay. But then why the hell we voted? Why did we vote? Democracy seems not to exist. It just ain't existing. Now this is a very dangerous trend we are on right now. Because at the end of the day, we got to continue looking at what is allowed and what's not allowed. Now the governor, I understood, told the formateur he will not sign any candidate, minister, who has a red flag. And I said, okay, this is getting interesting. So what's a red flag? He waving one? He waving the DP red flag? Is that what you're talking about? Or is it that he owe taxes and he got to first pay taxes and then he'll appoint him? Or is it that the prosecutor's office said, no, we're busy investigating him, or we planning to investigate him for whatever crime we're going to make up that he do? Or is it that the VDSM says, well, we have him linked to international terrorism, etc., etc., whatever. Because they did a deep dive on the candidate. Now, it gets interesting the next week. So you did these deep dives. The candidate is told, there's a red flag. Okay, can I see it, please? What is the issue? No, we can't show you nothing. Sorry, excuse me? No, we can't show you nothing. They said that it's a problem, so we ain't doing nothing. Now here goes the governor, because this is the problem. The governor and the formateur see this information. This is confidential information from the candidate, but the candidate may not see it. The governor says, I ain't signing the LB because there's a red flag. No, the governor has 4 reasons to refuse signing an LB. 4. 1, it's in contradiction with the statute. Having a reason that I suspect you of something. Not that you're guilty. Listen carefully. I suspect you of something. No place in the statute covers that. An international regulation, so a treaty, it's in conflict with a treaty, or a kingdom act, or a general measure of government administration. It's a regs. Kingdom law, kingdom act. You do something that can go through. Now, mind you, I'm going to come back to these things because I'm going to put it in perspective for you. Or with interest, the care or safeguarding in St. Martin, which is actually a kingdom matter taken up in the statute in Article 43 or 44, I believe. That if we can't guarantee safety, the kingdom steps in. If we can't guarantee human rights, the kingdom steps in. It didn't say if we can't guarantee that somebody is not a criminal, because he is not. He is suspected of having committed a crime. He has not been convicted. Like, for example, Mark Rutte was, and Geert Wilders were. But yet they are ministers. One was a prime minister for 11 years. The other one will become the prime minister in the next few months. So the governor, if he don't want to sign it, has to send it up to the Netherlands. He can't sit on it here in his office and hide it. It has to go to the Council of State. Raad van State, sorry, in the Netherlands, so that they can review it and make a decision. It will be the first time in history in St. Martin that this will happen.
At RBC, we know the roles you have to play can change quickly. Whether it's a homeowner, a new parent, today's head chef, salesperson of the month, or the family chauffeur. Whatever life asks you to be, RBC is a bank for all of you.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurances.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurances.
So when we look at my research, particularly as a postdoc in this project, I just want to share a few of my approaches and some of the results. So what can we learn about climate change through the cultural practices of the SSS ABC Islands? And secondly, one of the main questions for me as well is, how do we connect climate change and education in a more meaningful way on our islands? So I called for a multidisciplinary approach, a reflexive approach, and basically it means that traditionally when we look at these subjects, we often, as was already mentioned, research these areas from a scientific perspective, let's say from a particular model. What is important is that we also use other means, which means, for example, that we engage with these themes in a different way, that we look at perhaps maybe alternative ways of of engaging with climate change, such as our cultural traditions, our festivals, the way we eat, what we wear, our sayings, many of the ways that we engage with everyday life. And if you look at this from this perspective, perhaps maybe we can see this same topic, we can get insight on this same topic in a very interesting ways. So at the center of this study is how does, for example, music and other cultural traditions um, engage with themes such as are related to the climate. So, for example, what does, if you analyze the lyrics, how are the lyrics actually dealing with the topics such as climate challenges? How is it vocalized? How does it sound? How is the public engaged? What does it do or does not do? How does it feel? How does it dance? What themes are addressed? How it is inspired? How is it created? And how can these themes be implemented in education? So we're looking at different cultural traditions and how this is related to a theme such as our climate change, climate challenges. Okay, so these are some of the preliminary research results. Now, what you see up until now is that the way that many of the islanders have actually engaged with these themes of climate challenges or themes of climate, I would say, or rather, are often related to harvest festivals, harvest songs. I don't know if you're familiar with Awayobe, Maishi Krese. That is a very common song on for example, on the ABC Islands. And you see here that there's always a call for rain during drought and so forth. We're calling to the heavens. So that is one of the ways traditionally people have actually engaged with themes of climate, with drought, with rain, and so forth. But if you ask them, okay, so which SDG does that fall under? Or what is the let's say the impact related to the climate and so forth? They would look at you like, okay, what are you talking about? But it's embedded in the cultural traditions. So you talk about the Simadan, the Seu, the Deragai, and the Tambu. So I'll just let you listen to just a sample of For Young Boys and Grupo de Petico and how they incorporate these in their songs. So they're talking about Hisakara Wakpariba, so look up to the skies, and they're talking about calling for rain.
Good evening, community of St. Martin. Welcome to the Rotary Mid-Isle of St. Martin Table Tennis Tournament. If you're in the vicinity, we welcome you to come at the Sports Auditorium here, right next to the John Larmini Center, and we expect a fantastic afternoon together with our sports fellows. Thank you very much.
John.
Good evening, everyone. I'm John Hart, the chairman of the table tennis tournament for the Rotary Club of St. Martin Mid-Isle. We welcome everyone. We welcome everyone to come and have some snacks and drinks with us. And unfortunately, we don't have our good friend Franklin Rajulki with us here tonight. He's overcoming some medical issues, but I'm sure he's going to recover very, very soon. We wish all the participants a wonderful table tennis tournament. May the best person or may the best woman or man win. Thank you.
I'm just the president having a good time.
Okay. And then we have Mr. Bakari.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Rikna Bakari Arundel, and I'm here on behalf of the St. Martin Table Tennis Federation at the annual Rotary Table Tennis Tournament. This evening, we'll be having some very interesting games. We have a number of players that came out to highlight their skills on the table. And of course, we would love to see who will emerge as this year's Rotary Table Tennis Tournament. So before we started, all of the players were able to pick a number. And in the next few moments, we are about to start. So the players that we have is Clarissa, Glenton, Nick, Peter, Rickna, myself, Tony, Ryan, and John. So it's going to be very interesting, and of course I hope we capture all of the highlights and show all of the people of St. Martin what they perhaps missed. And of course we do miss the presence of our coach, Mr. Franklin Rajuki, and we do wish him a speedy recovery.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurances.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurances.
At RBC, we know the roles you have to play can change quickly. Whether it's a homeowner, a new parent, today's head chef, salesperson of the month, or the family chauffeur. Whatever life asks you to be, RBC is a bank for all of you.
Have we made mistakes along the way? Of course we have. We did things that we should not have done, and we have to own up to them. You know, Pastor Durant today preached a powerful lesson about healing, about being able to say sorry, about being able to be man enough to understand and own your mistakes. Well, you know what? Tonight, I own the mistakes of the Democratic Labour Party. I own my mistakes. And for anybody who's ever been hurt by this party, or if you've ever felt hurt by me, I am sorry. Let us admit that we messed up a bit on education, though. We messed up. We messed up with them fees. We did. There's nothing wrong with that. And we got to be big enough to say, you know what? Sorry. Sorry, we got that one wrong. We were in a tight situation, and the choice was probably not the best choice, but we are sorry. But we commit to now doing better by you.